Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1205A, and today's date is February 15th, 2017, and the title of the episode is Janet Yellen just revealed something huge, but no one is listening. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now, we can see today that the market is going wild. And remember, the market has nothing to do with the economy. And what we're seeing right now is the corporate media, the central bank, well, they're pushing the idea that the economy is still fine right now. They need to do this. They need to paint this picture of how the economy is doing. Because right now, we're in the setup phase where they're setting up the entire narrative of why this is about to come down. And we just got information from Janet Yellen, which really sets it up, and they're already preparing for what is coming. And what we're seeing right now, and what we've been seeing all along, is that we are in a recession at this point. Yes, I know the corporate media is out there telling you that retail is fantastic, everything looks great, but all the data and everything that we're looking at points to a recession. They're not going to mention that. They will never mention that. They're going to give you sound bites of why things look great, up to the point when things start to fall apart. And even when things are starting to fall apart, they're still going to do this. And all this time, they're going to give you little nuggets of why things are starting to fall apart, who to blame, where to look. And we're already seeing this begin. Now, we're seeing mortgage delinquencies. Well, they're starting to trend upwards. For the first time since the first quarter of 2013, mortgage delinquencies rose quarter on quarter in the fourth quarter. The jump went from 4.52% to 4.80%. This is the largest since 2010. Now, the corporate media, they are out there and they're trying to make everyone believe that retail is doing fantastic. One of the headlines I saw, look at retail sizzle. And they're saying that people are spending like crazy. Look how much money they spent. It's a little misleading. Remember how retail and the information that they receive, how it works. Well, when retail stores close down, they don't say, well, we had Sports Authority close down, we had BCBG close 150 stores, we had Wet n Wild close this many stores. Well, we're just going to have to subtract all those sales. No, they spread it out over time to give the illusion that retail is still doing well. And remember, fuel costs are included in retail. Remember, if inflation increases, people are spending more for the same products or for fuel. And this is what we are seeing right now. We are seeing inflation increase. Right now, fuel prices have gone up because at this point, we're starting to see that consumer prices, they've surged at the fastest pace in 5 years. So that means inflation is increasing. We're already above the 2% mark. Actually, inflation right now will start moving up quicker and quicker. But when we look at the retail sales, we see that retail sales were pushed up by fuel costs and by inflation. Think about it. Think about all the stores that you heard shutting down. Think about the holiday season. And in January, which is one of the worst months for retail sales, they're telling you retail sales were incredible. Does that make sense? We see motor vehicles. The vehicles, the parts dealers, down negative 1.4%. We see miscellaneous store retailers down negative 0.2%. We see clothing stores only 1%. Building materials 0.3%. Furniture and home furnishing stores 0. So at this point, what we're seeing is things aren't going as well as they're saying. things are deteriorating, but they're spinning the news and making you believe that things are actually better than they really are. If we really look at this, we can see that the Consumer Price Index, it is driven by a 14.2% year-on-year spike in gasoline prices. So gasoline has gone up quite a bit. Now, when we look at industrial production, well, that declined. It tumbled. Whatever word you want to use, it tumbled to 0.3% month on month. This is the biggest month-on-month drop since 2016. And year over year, industrial production is now unchanged. And what we're seeing right now is that industrial production had one pop-up in the beginning of 2017. We've had something like 17 months of negative industrial production. We are in a recession because, once again, the hard data, well, it outshines the soft data, showing what's really going on here. We see that the GDP Now model, well, they just revised the GDP once again. First, they were saying we were going to hit 5%, then it was down to 3.5%, and then down to 2.7%. Now we are down to 2.2% this quarter. So we can see already that things are not going as well as everyone believes. Now, remember, we've been watching the economy. We've been looking at retail. We've been looking at the housing market. We've been looking at the manipulated numbers like GDP, unemployment, and the rest. We've been looking at corporate defaults, the tax receipts, and we can see that everything is contracting right now. Now, since the Great Recession, which was about 8 years ago, almost going on 9 years now, the Heritage Foundation, their 2017 Index for Economic Freedom, which is an annual global study that compares countries' entrepreneurial environments, well, they rank different countries on economic freedom. And for the 9th time since 2008, America has lost ground. According to the 2017 index, the U.S. ranks 17th out of 100 rated economies. We're not even in the top 10. Hong Kong is number 1. Singapore is number 2. New Zealand is number 3. United Arab Emirates is number 8. Chile is number 10. United States is number 17. That should tell you something. Now, we've been talking a very long time about how the central bank, they don't want to take blame for what is about to happen because they want to restart the system. And this has been going on for quite a while. They've been pumping this up. Remember, to pump up an economy, to create this illusion, it doesn't happen over a day or two. It happens over many years. And they pump it up. It's like pumping up a car tire with a hand pump. How long does it take you to pump that tire up? Does it happen in a minute? No, it takes a while. This is what they've been doing to the economy here. And we've been watching the economy, looking at what they've been doing, creating this gigantic illusion. Now, Janet Yellen, she was on Capitol Hill talking about the economy. Now, we have to understand that U.S. wholesale inflation posted its largest monthly jump in 4 years. So inflation is moving up. It's way above the 2% target of the Fed. And it's approaching 2.5% on its way to 3%. And we have to understand that there is clear evidence right now that the U.S. economy is rolling over. We've been looking at this. Now, of course, the corporate media is hiding all this. The central banker's not going to come out and say, hey, you know something, the economy's rolling over and we're headed towards really bad times. Sorry for all of this. They're not going to do that. But we've been following it, and we've been looking at housing, retail, and everything else. And we can see right now that it's starting to roll over. Yellen was saying that growth is quite disappointing. The economy is weaker than we thought. But she said the Fed policies have helped. They were not a hindrance. And she said something very important, which I think a lot of people really didn't hear. When she said the economy was weak, quite disappointing, she said, but it's not the fault of the Fed. Now, that's very, very important. Why? Because we've been talking about this for a very long time. How the Fed is going to take everyone in the country, around the world, and shift where everyone is looking to another location. She already is telling you. She's setting up the entire story. The setup is right now. The economy is weak. It's quite disappointing. Now think about this for a second. They've been telling us the economy has been getting stronger and stronger and stronger. We're down to 4.6% or 4.8%, but we're in the fours. They've been telling us that everything is fantastic. They're convincing us that retail is great. Housing market is fantastic. The stock market's continually going up. But she says the economy is weak. And it's not the Fed's fault. This is what's called the setup stage. Changing the narrative of the story. Think about what Mario Draghi has said. If Trump puts his economic policies forward, well, that could be a huge problem in regards to the global economy. Think about what Fitch said. They said the same exact thing. Right now, they are setting up the narrative of the story. They just did a 180-degree turn. They are now telling us that the economy is getting weak. Why? What's changed? Trump has done nothing. He has done absolutely nothing to the economy as of yet. As we were coming out of December, moving into January, they were telling us how great it was, that Obama was handing off a strong economy. Now the story is changing, and this is what we've been talking about for a very long time. Because it took them a long time to build up all these bubbles. They have now started the narrative, the story, of what is going to happen. We've never heard the Fed say this before, where they said it was weak, but the Fed is not to blame for it. So this tells us, this is the signal, letting us know that they're getting ready to bring this economy down. Now, like I said in the past, this is a race to who's going to bring down the economy, because if the central bankers bring it down when they want, and I believe most likely it will be in the latter part of this year, because they need to allow Trump time to do whatever he's going to do. This way they can blame it on him. They're going to wait. Trump, on the other hand, he's going to have to bring it down before that period of time and blame it on the Fed. Now, the Fed is already protecting themselves, saying that the economy is weak and we are not to blame. So we can already see the battle has already started. Now, looking at this, we know what's going to happen. We know that the people are going to suffer. Remember, Trump doesn't run the country. The elected officials, they don't run the country. Yes, they can pass certain laws and regulations and things like that. But the real individuals, the non-elected people, they're hiding behind the curtain, the deep state, the central bank, they are controlling what is going on here. They're pulling all the strings. Yes, they would like Trump out of there, make things a lot easier for them. But in regards to the economy, in regards to what is going on, they're controlling it. They understand, and I'm talking about the central bank, that this debt cannot be sustained. It's impossible. Think about it. Inflation is moving up. That means the buying power of people, well, that's going to disintegrate. That means you're going to see less purchases at the store. It's going to be very difficult for people. We see tax receipts already declining. People are losing their jobs. We know this is a fact. We know we've hit into negative territory. So all of this, put this all together, the debt will not be able to be paid. They will not be able to raise the interest rates. I think they're going to just go up by themselves. We can see already that things are already adjusting. And they know that this time is coming. This is why they've started the narrative of where we're going with all this. And that is to bring the economy down and collapse the entire system. This is why you need to be prepared. This is why you need to be ready. We've just got the first signal that they're ready to do this. After 2 rate hikes, they're prepared to bring the economy down. And if you look back in time, we talked about them doing the first rate hike, which was a signal that they're getting prepared. And then they said if they do the second one, well, they're ready to do it. Here we are today. Things are going to rapidly change as we move throughout this spring, into the summer, and into the fall. And it's going to happen very, very quickly. So everyone needs to get prepared for what is coming. Get your food, get your water, get your gold, get your silver. Definitely have cash on hand. Now people say, well, how am I going to go out and purchase food with gold? You're not. You're going to keep your silver and gold, and you're going to hold on to it. That's going to maintain and protect your wealth. You're going to use the cash that you have to purchase stuff in the beginning. And as things break down, well, cash will be worthless at that point. And then you'll most likely have to go to a barter system. This is why I'm telling you to have supplies. You need a weapon to protect yourself, because there are going to be people out there that are not prepared for this. People are going to go run to the ATMs, they're going to run to the stores, they're going to run all over the place just trying to get that currency. They're not going to be able to do it. So they're going to go from house to house looking for supplies. If you don't think this is going to happen, well, think again. When people become very desperate and they want to feed their family, they don't just sit in their house going, gee, I hope something changes. No, they get scared, they get nervous, they go out there and they have to get the food. They have to get the supplies. And we can see already we're heading down this path right now. So get prepared. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.